welcome to another video from Global Biological Academy. In this video tutorial, I'll be explaining about the effect of hydroxychloroquine in the patient having the COVID-19 disease. And in my previous video, I have uploaded some information regarding the pathogenic mechanism of COVID-19 disease. And if you are new in this video, I'd like to recommend you to go and watch that video first, then come here. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand the concept, that is how this particular medicine is working to prevent the attack from the coronavirus. Okay, so let me start, and before going ahead, let me first tell you that the basic of it. And you see, this is the basic and very brief video, so don't expect much more details from here. So as you all know that this virus, coronavirus, affects our respiratory tract. Basically the cell known as the type 2 pneumocyte cell present on the surface or present on the upper respiratory tract, and on the surface of this cell a particular receptor is present, that is known as the angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptor, through which the virus take entry inside the type 2 pneumocyte cell and affect the cell. So this is the first scenario of how this particular hydroxychloroquine is preventing in different levels. So this is the first level of effect of hydroxychloroquine. So this is the virus, and this virus has entered inside the cell by formation of this endosome through the receptor known as AC2 receptor, though it is not represented over here, but it is already there. So this endosome is formed, and inside this endosome the virus is present, and once the endosome has entered the cell in the cytosolic region, the lysosome is present, and this lysosome will fuse with this endosome to form the endolysosome, right? And what is the function of this lysosome over here? This lysosome is actually creating the endosome, creating the endosomal environment little bit acidic, so it is lowering down the pH. How? As you have seen here, one particular channel is there, pump is there. This pump is nothing but the proton pump, and this proton pump drags the proton from the cytosolic region inside the lysosomal cellular organelle. So inside the this is the cytoplasm, and here a lot of H+ ions are present, and these ions are dragged inside the lysosome to decrease the pH. That means once the pH is decreased, so the acidity of the environment inside the lysosome will be increased. Now in that case, in the case of the pumping of proton from the cytosol to inside the lysosomal inside the lysosome, one ATP molecule is being used. So this is the ATPase dependent proton pump. And after that, what will be happen? As the pH is decreased, that means the acidity is increased. Now in this acidic environment, once it is fused with this endosome, the endolysosome will be formed, and this endolysosome, that means it is having the higher acidity level. So once this lysosome is fused with this endosome, the acidity of acidic environment of this endolysosome will help the virus to extract the RNA from the virus. So what it does actually, in the acidic environment, the RNA will be released in the cytosol, and this mRNA, that is the positive sense standard RNA, has two fates at the same time. It will do two functionalities. This RNA will go for the RNA replication process, that is the formation of or the synthesis of multiple number of the same RNA. Another one will be the protein synthesis, that is the non-structural polyprotein synthesis. That is not concerned in this topic. Once this RNA is produced, it will be used by one enzyme that is known as the RNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. So this is the RNA dependent RNA polymerase. Dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. This enzyme will help in RNA replication. So what this hydroxychloroquine do, what this hydroxychloroquine is doing here? So let's say this is the hydroxychloroquine. So this is the hydroxychloroquine. Now this is the hydroxychloroquine. This hydroxychloroquine can enter inside the cell, and at the time of entry, it also brings the zinc ions. zinc ions. So this hydroxychloroquine, as it enters the cell, inside the cell, it brings a number of zinc ions. So once because normally the zinc ion is not able to enter through the cell membrane, so with the help of this hydroxychloroquine the zinc is entering. Okay, so in that case, as a result of that, the zinc ion concentration will be increased inside the cytoplasm. So inside the cytoplasm, the zinc ion concentration will be increased, and this zinc ion binds with the beta prime protein of the RNA polymerase enzyme. So this is the beta prime subunit of this RNA polymerase enzyme. So once this zinc ion binds with the beta prime subunit of the RNA polymerase enzyme, so the activity of the RNA polymerase will be stopped. So as a result of that, no RNA replication will be occurred. So this is one way of one action of this hydroxychloroquine. So let me shift the topic in the right side. What here the hydroxychloroquine will do, as I have already told that the lysosome is playing a very crucial role for releasing the RNA or the genomic content of the coronavirus. So in that case the hydroxychloroquine can enter, and it can go inside both endosome and lysosome. What it does, this hydroxychloroquine inside the endosome, it makes the environment inside the endosome little bit alkaline. So it decreases the pH. pH is decreased, mean the alkaline, the medium becomes alkaline in nature. Okay, and inside the lysosome, what this hydroxychloroquine is doing, it affects on the proton pump. As a result, the lysosome cannot drag the proton from the cytosol into its environment. So it will prevent the lysosome to take hydrogen ion or the protons from the cytosolic region. So it is also preventing the acidic nature of the lysosome. This is one thing. Another thing is that, cathepsin is a kind of protein that helps in the fusion of this endosome and the lysosome. So this hydroxychloroquine can also affect the cathepsin protein. Okay, as a result of that, the fusion cannot be occurred. So this is another level. Now let me tell you the scenario in this part, what the hydroxychloroquine is doing with the receptor and this particular thing that is present just right after the AC2 receptor. This is AC2 receptor. So hydroxychloroquine, you can see the dots present inside this receptor. These dots are nothing but the glycosylation, and this glycosylation is very much important, that are being used by the virus for the proper attachment. So this glycosylation is very much important for the proper attachment, the proper binding of the spike protein of the coronavirus. Okay, so this hydroxychloroquine can interfere with this glycosylation of the AC2 receptor. Okay, so this is another effect. It actually this hydroxychloroquine interferes with the glycosylation of the receptor present inside the AC2. And just right after the AC2 receptor, there is another protein known as the sialic acid. Sialic acid. This sialic acid is nothing but the sugar molecule, that is a monosaccharide, and this sialic acid is found to occur in a very close proximity of this AC2 receptor, and this sialic acid helps in facilitating the binding or the attachment of the coronavirus with this AC2 receptor. So the hydroxychloroquine can also bind with this sialic acid and prevent its activity to ultimately what will be happened, the proper attachment of the virus with the AC2 receptor will not be occurred. Okay, so this is working in two ways. Another thing is that this has sialic acid is formed inside the cytosol by another biosynthesis process. So in that biosynthesis process of producing this sialic acid, one very important enzyme known as the quinone reductase. Quinone reductase. This quinone reductase is an enzyme which is very much important and playing the crucial role for the biosynthesis process of the sialic acid. So the hydroxychloroquine prevents this or blocks the activity of the quinone reductase. So as a result, this sialic acid cannot be produced in much amount. Okay, and here the another part is also there that I will show you in the space. So this is the virus, and it is entering inside the cell, and at the first time or initial time of attachment, as I have told in the previous video, that once it is attached with this receptor, C2 receptor, in the intracellular domain, it activates the casein kinase 2 protein, and it autophosphorylates this serine residue present in the intracellular domain of this receptor and undergoes some cascade events by phosphorylation event to activate a particular transcription factor known as AP1, and that AP1 is responsible for the production of CCL2 protein, and that CCL2 protein will affect and will cause the lungs fibrosis. So this cascade is the MAP kinase pathway. Okay, so ultimately this hydroxychloroquine is actually blocking, this hydroxychloroquine is blocking the MAP kinase signaling pathway. As a result, the AP1 cannot be activated. Okay, so no production or no formation of CCL2. This is another thing. So and ultimate another effect of the hydroxychloroquine, that is a very important effect of the hydroxychloroquine, is the anti-inflammatory reaction or agent. So let me erase that part, otherwise there is not that much space to draw the picture. So this is macrophage. This is neutrophil. This is neutrophil, and this is macrophage. And after the entry of this virus inside the type 2 pneumocyte cell, it triggers the immune cells to produce a huge number of the cytokines, to cause the cytokine storm that is known as. And the cytokine storm is nothing but the production of different kind of chemical factors that actually causes the vasodilation. Okay, so the hydroxychloroquine can prevent interleukin 6, interleukin 1 beta, interleukin 2, and other chemicals are there, other interleukins are there that are actually inhibited by that. The activity of those interleukins are inhibited by the hydroxychloroquine. So this hydroxychloroquine can inhibit all this activity of all interleukins. This is one way. Another way of preventing the cytokine storm is that it can also prevent the activity of caspase 1. That is very much important for the inflammation. Okay, so this hydroxychloroquine can also prevent this caspase 1. So these are all the activities. Apart from that, many other activities or the effects are also there, and I hope I have not missed anything in this video. So this is all about the effect of the hydroxychloroquine, and if you like this video, and please don't forget to hit the like button and share my videos. Okay, so thank you.